Guys, welcome back to another forecast and projections. This will be for our full moon on June 14th in Sagittarius. So we got some fire in the sky, which is, I feel like we needed because we had so much water going on. I feel like it could kind of evaporate some of that up. Um, the greatest need is to always search for something. In order to feel safe, you may find that you need to have a goal, mission that gives you life meaning. With the moon in Sagittarius, you have an optimistic approach to life and you believe that things will get better even if you get into trouble. I feel like it's just like say, having that optimistic it's like, okay, even though this comes into your life, you're just like, okay, we're going to make a plan and we're going to figure out how to move forward. You know what I mean? I feel like Monday's cards were touching on this where it's just like we're moving forward, we're making a plan, optimism. But I feel like it's like they're saying follow your intuition, but I also feel like it's like being grounding yourself in the fact to see what's illusion and what's not. Sometimes, we get wrapped up in emotions, we get wrapped up in like how they taught us, especially my generation where we grew up with Disney, and it's just like always the princess being saved by someone, and they fall in love, and it's like the answer to all of our problems. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's just like we have to sit there and be independent and try to resolve our own problems. And yeah, obviously ask for trouble. I have a hard time asking for trouble, but it's like asking for help when we need it. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a positive push. I definitely felt like Monday's cards were like, even though X, Y, and Z, because especially when they're talking about this love, and I was just like, for me, I felt like it was karmic debt because it looks like the person you're interested in has a partner already. And they're like, don't let your shadow side take over. And very much what Shavat was about was keeping true to our values, and that's something that has been coming up since January. They're like, don't forget who you are, stick to your values. During the summertime, it's easy to forget those kinds of things because it's just like, church is let out for the summer, or you're religious, because camps are started, we're going on missions. So it's just like that force isn't there to ground you and hold you accountable. But it's everywhere and everything we do. Accountable at work, accountable, in your home life, accountable with your friends and your family. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's just like it starts and ends with you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's fine to go to institutions and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you got to hold yourself accountable. If that's something you believe in, then you have to sit there and be like, I have faith in myself that I will sit there and do the right thing. You know what I mean? Temptation is, everybody is out, everybody's feeling good. It's summer. People fall in love, people fall out of love. It's just like the hot temperatures are there, so everybody gets on each other's nerves a little bit more. But I feel like it's just like in the scenario of where it's just like this person's in a relationship. It's like if the shoe was on the other foot, how that would feel. So why would you want to do that to someone else? And this is when we're talking about building karmic debt. Oh, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. None. Da 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 da. But it's like, well, it does, and it will affect you down the road. So be mindful of these organs during this full moon: liver, scrotum, thigh bone, tailbone, hip muscle, hip joint, lumbar vertebrae, lumbar muscle. I feel like we're doing a lot of more gardening. I feel like we're a lot more physical in the summertime as well. I feel like don't overdo it. Like me, I'm like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And even my son brought that up. He's like, why do you feel like this urgency to get certain things done? And I'm like, because I only have, a certain window to get certain things done during the week because, I don't have anything, going on that day, because school's out. And it's just like, you know, I get this to do list that I want to get done. And I'm like, for me, it nags me when I don't get it done. And I'm like, I feel like I accomplish something when I get certain things done. Like finishing getting the hardware up for the blinds. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it just took me a while to sit there, or I was just like, I'm just too tired to do it. You know what I mean? There's other opportunities that came there, but it's just like sometimes you're just like, I just need to like sit on the couch, put on a good show, one of my favorite shows, and just relax. Like, it's just been one of those weeks or days or months, whatever it is. but I feel like it's like, especially because they're talking about the back a lot or hips. It's like just be mindful of. It looks like lifting. It looks like bags of soil or something like that. So it looks like you're gardening. So that's the thing. We don't think we're straining so much because it's like, oh, gardening's so boring. Gardening's not that physical. It's like when you get into it, gardening is very physical, and especially in that heat, you'll feel it. Like, especially when you go inside and you have a shower or whatever. Like an hour later, you'll feel it. Getting into our Viking runes, Shen. So Shen means heaven, heaven on earth. They always speak about, and it's like the number one. So when we think of the number one in the tarot, that is the Fool. So this brand new beginning starts, and we definitely talked about this with Monday's cards. A brand new beginning starts here, and it's just like we're excited to see what goes on. We're kind of scared because it's like no one wants to think too much about the future, or I feel like this is a great time to get a reading. You know what I mean? I always give myself one major reading a year, and I always do it during the summer. So I feel like this is a great time to open yourself up to that new beginning, that new energy. I feel like, they were talking about with Monday's cards, we're going through this cycle where it's like, the world, we're coming to a conclusion and a new beginning starts. And I feel like that's the kind of energy we're entering here with Shen. You know what I mean? And I feel like that, like, earthy breeze, like, I feel like the wind kind of coming in here, like a cool breeze coming in. They're showing, like, the ocean, so the beach. We were actually there yesterday, so I see where they're talking about, where I took a picture. Um, and it's just like that calm, that peace. When they talk about heaven on earth, that literally is it. To sit, be in a place where everything is still. There's no problems. You're not worrying about anything. It's just that peace and harmony that comes over you. You know what I mean? When you get that true relaxation, and I feel like it's just bringing. And I feel like that's what summer should be about. Is like keeping our grounding ourselves and making ourselves calm after a chaotic year. Everything that's gone on, especially the past 2.5 years. It's just like, how can I sit there and ground myself in this energy, you know? And I definitely feel that, with, we only have one planet in water right now. And it's just it's easing up on that, the restrictions, if you will. Um, so they're saying creative power. So they're talking about your back. So for me personally, I'm a creative person. I'm an artist, but I feel like when I garden, I'm painting this scene, like I'm making this scenery. You know what I mean? Where it's just like I make it very like visually aesthetically pleasing, and I feel like a lot of gardeners do that. I know, Shane's sister-in-law. You would walk up her walkway, and she would take you through the story. She had like this wooden wagon, and she had these beautiful flowers, and as you kept walking towards her doorway, it was just like this just beautiful scenery that you would be visually appealing because she had all these different flowers, and it was just really beautiful. She would have like statues, and like I said, the wooden barrel. It's just very beautiful, and I feel like that's what they were talking about. Be mindful of your back. I feel like kids, like sometimes kids will sit there and they'll, like, I'm talking about little toddler kids sitting there and then just like putting their feet on your back, like back and forth, like they're walking on your back, but they're like laying on the bed, and it's like you're sitting in front of them and they're just like doing that on your back, so your lower back, your tailbone. So I feel like it's like at that time it's very innocent, but it's like you may pinch. I feel like a pinch when you do that. Sometimes I get that. I'll sit there and I just like all of a sudden I'll get this pinch in my back, and it's like ugh. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, you're straining a little too much. This is where they tell you do your stretches and everything. I, for one, don't do them, so I can't really, scold you for that. So the air is ripe with imagination, inspiration, and energy. The flying dragon is an ancient symbol of dramatic, arousing force that bodes well for creative movement. If your goals are in alignment with the greater good, positive actions taken with good timing will meet with success. So, funny enough, we kept getting the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is like, if you are worthy of this, then you will be the victor wearing the wreath. You know what I mean? Then this will be an absolute yes for you. Then you will see a positive blessing with this. But that's what I love about the Ace of Swords. Not only is it an air sign, so we're thinking with their higher levels of thinking, but it's just like holding us accountable. And I feel like getting into that where they're saying keep to your core values and all that, I feel like it's saying like if you're doing what's right, then it's like you will see victor in certain situations in your life. But if you're doing things building towards your karmic debt, then not so much. This is an excellent time to exercise leadership because you can be strong now. But be forewarned, success turns to failure if strength turns to arrogance. Exactly. And I've seen this, like, play out where they think that they're the cat's meow, like, very full of themselves and all this. And it's just like, my dude, you showed me who you were way before. You know what I mean? Like, I understand maybe, like, he feels like that stress is gone and X, Y, and Z, and it's like, that's fine. But you were a prick for a long time ago before this happened. So it's just like, I see who you are. This first hexagram contains yang lines and is one of the most auspicious readings from the Book of Change. Whoever draws this hexagram is assured success by the following the 6 stages of development, starting with the bottom line. By being sensitive to conditions and doing things in the right order. What have we been talking about? We would, I always sit there and, I always tell my kids, if it's going to tick me off, you know you're doing the wrong thing. You know what I mean? And it's just like with myself, it's just like I want to put myself in the, put the shoe on the other foot. And it's just like, I would want that to happen to me. So, I tried to be the best, and I always go against myself, where it's just like, I give so much to the point that it hurts me, and I'm like, not doing that no more. You know what I mean? Too many times, overly generous, overly giving, and it's just like, burns you in the butt. Hard lesson. One development, more influence. The time itself becomes the means to make sure that has come that, sorry, real what has only been potential before this moment. Believe in your dreams and persevere. Everything around you will flourish. Call upon flourish. Kind of play on the gardening. Call upon your creative power and let it work through you. So just like when we sit there and we set out our manifestations, we're throwing seeds out there. We're hoping that it will catch some good rich soil and will start to grow seedlings, and we nurture it with those, keep on asking for those manifestations. Believe in that it's going to happen. Put in that positive energy into it. Stay focused on your goals. Do not allow yourself to become distracted, or you may lose the power that is available to you now. Remember that when taking action, success requires making the right move at the right time. Exactly. It's like, I feel like as long as we were talking about this last week, where they were like, if you have the skill set to, like, they're talking about a promotion here, and they're like, yes, you have the sociability, you have the worth ethic and all this, but they're saying technically, you know what I mean? So I'm going to get into this run here. These are the only channel cards we got here, but it feels like they all go together, and it's like because we have relationship change, right? So there's something coming in with it, or change in regards to a relationship. Maybe you've already seen this where there's a positive shift. I feel like it's like sometimes we see that the person we're with doesn't see our value, and it could be in that way where it's just like realizing your worth. It's a positive, it's bittersweet because it's positive, you realize your worth, but negative, it's better because of the fact that you realize this person isn't going to give you or see your worth anytime soon. So wisdom and experience gained will be of great benefit to all involved. Whether a child leaving a home, a partnership, friendship has ended, or a loved one, friend, work colleague, or neighbor is going through a change, know that you and the other person are divinely guided and protected and have the strength to carry on. So funny enough, we were talking about this with Monday's cards where it had true love, but the thing was, it was Ariel and Eric, and they wanted to be together. They were infatuated with each other, but she had to give up her voice to sit there and transform into a human to be with him. But you have Ursula, where she wanted to sit there and had bigger plans to be the ruler of the ocean and used Ariel as a pawn in her scheme. You know what I mean? So we get that shadow jealousy envious energy there. So it's just like, are you gonna sit there, or this person's gonna go against their karmic, um, their, go against to your core values. We're talking about that, and do the wrong thing here. It's like you should not get between those two. Like, um, if their relationship goes through change, they were bringing up Jeff Lewis and his little cheeky attitude where it's just like he never cheated. He was broken up for 24 hours and before he got into another relationship. You know what I mean? So I don't know what is going to happen here, but I feel like it's like let things fall the way that they may and stay out of it. And if they become single and they want to be with you, then that's a different scenario. But until then, I would just tap out. So cycles that are leading you towards change in a relationship dynamic. During this period of transition, it's important to remember that you grow and evolve. Your relationship and your relationship grows and evolves too. So be flexible and adaptable, and know all is well. But I feel like that change is inevitable. Funny enough, with the channel messages, and going back to the oracle with Shen, you know, um, it's made up of mostly sevens, and that's enlightenment. Nine, we're almost at the precipice of change, where it's like the world, an ending that leads to a new beginning. There, we'll get into that with the channel messages, but they're talking about this union. You know what I mean? So I feel like, okay. So the next card we get is surrender. So we get relationship change, and then we get surrender. And I feel like it's surrendering to the outcome. So 9 plus 1 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So, the Fool. We're getting this brand new beginning. So surrender, and I feel like, and I feel like this is with the red, our root chakra. It's like, overthinking. You know what I mean? And we can't overthink. All you can do is be like, what? Until I have what I like, them making a verbal confirmation here that they definitely want to be with you, then I would wait. And I would definitely wait until they're, not in a relationship. Don't give them an ultimatum, but it's inevitably up to them. Surrender your attachment to a particular situation or preferred outcome, because your inability to let go is impeding your success. You're just stressing yourself, giving yourself anxiety and depression. Let go. I was in this energy. Desperation blocks manifestations. Therefore, the more you struggle to attract your desire, the more you push it away. By drawing this card, you're being encouraged to detach from the outcome, the situation, and surrender to the divine. Make peace with your life as it is today, and appreciate what you already have. When you do what brings you joy, rather than fret about end results, divine order and timing will bring the perfect outcome to your way. So funny enough, me and my girlfriend were talking about that with different scenarios. Her life and myself are kind of mirroring each other in certain aspects, and it's like stressing about it, the process, and I'm like, when the timing is right, it will happen. What I feel like this is a relationship, because surrendering to the outcome, because I do definitely feel like a throuple. I was mentioning that with Monday. Synchronicities, and I feel like there is something energetically here between the two of you. I don't know if it will produce fruit. I don't know if this is going to go the distance. You know what I mean? Because there's a different things that like they were saying. You really got to think about this before you push forward with this. We all get blinded by our desires and don't take the time to sit there and let things unfold, because we're rush. That's what we're taught. Hurry up and rush. Get to it. So I feel like here it's just like, let it fall the way, the natural course go. Indicates a need to have faith in the universe and order of events, even if the mindset is hopeless and uncertain. And uncertainty. So definitely with what I was talking about with my girlfriend, it's like that uncertainty if this will happen. I definitely feel like it'll happen for her, because she's got in a much better place than I am. I definitely feel like I know it's for her because I've done her cards. With myself, it's like I have to do my cards. I have no idea. It's on my manifestation board, but who knows? There is no such thing as an accident or a coincidence in the universe. And the perfect people and opportunities will appear miraculously when least expected, even when you can't logically comprehend how your dreams could possibly come true. It is so true. I felt something coming. I said, I have no idea what's going to come here. I knew what I was asking for. It came in a different form, and I'm just like, you know what? Either way, what I asked for happened. It didn't come in the way, and I was specific, but it's like it didn't come in that way. But the Lord knows what I need more than I do. The Lord knows what can sit there and bring those things in quicker than than I could see in front of me. So He rescued me. He put that, like, those circle of red life preservers, threw that life ring out for me, and I was like, put it around me. And it's like, I'm gonna rescue for you from this storm and pull you out of it, because where you're going, I could see what the ending is. So I'm going to prevent it before we go over the waterfall here. So let me pull you in. It's not what you asked for, but it's not specifically what you asked for, but it's in a way what I asked for. You know what I mean? It's exactly what I asked for, but not in the way that I thought it would come. That's why it's like surrender. We don't know how it's going to come in, but I'm totally grateful that it came in. It is not your job to know all, to know the hows, the whens, and the whos. Lies in the hands of the divine, but once you surrender the outcome, you are shown the next logical step. And I feel like we're talking about with Monday, full moon forecasts and whatnot. I feel like intuition is going to be a big part. So rebirth, and I honestly feel like this is going to make you feel alive. I definitely feel like this is like this is why I feel like so passionate about this, but I just think you're both too shy to say anything. And especially the fact that they're already in a relationship, that is up to them what happens in that relationship. Let that play out the way that it's going to play. They end up married, whatever. That's their path. You know what I mean? But you can never negate the fact that there was a connection there. And it's, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, just be like, you know what? You're not building karmic debt there, because you didn't sit there and do the wrong thing. You did the right thing. You sat there, and if it was like, if this is meant for me, if this is meant to be in my life, sometimes we don't know the whole story. You think you want something, and it's like, you know what? We strive for it, and then how many times have we sat there and wanted to date someone, and it's like we build up this scenario in our head, and we end up in a relationship with them, and we're just like, what the heck happened? This is nothing what I thought it would be. Because you didn't take the time to get to know them. You build up this fairy tale in your head, delusion in your head of what this would have been, you know what I mean? Not what it could be. You know what I mean? You didn't know who that person was. You just built up this dreamboat in your head, and you got together, and it's just like the qualities you thought they possessed, they didn't. Like loyalty, So this card indicates a time of a major transition and transformation that will result in significant personal growth. We were just talking about personal growth. By drawing this card, you're entering a period of spiritual awakening and rebirth. So funny enough, our Chinese oracle, 5 of them is 7. And it's like alignment to the highest, where you have the opportunity to align to your higher self and overreaching principles that guide you. That's where you could surrender. That's one of the cards. That's why I put them together. Changes around you and prepare to be the best you can be. You are being encouraged to trust and believe that the magical future awaits. But first, you need to let go of the old in order to experience the new. And it's the way we speak. Excuse me. The way that we speak. If we're always talking about the past, how's the future going to come in? You know what I mean? Like, you always bringing up your ex or something like that. It's like, well, hello, how are you building a future if you're always talking about the past? You're not making way for the future. Take time to reevaluate your core values and re-examine your life. Then eliminate any superficial foundations that don't align with your higher self and your dreams. So with myself being put in that situation, I know that I would not tamper with that, because that's not my place, because I wouldn't want someone to come in from the outside and tamper with my relationship. So it's just like, this is me. You do what you want to do. I'm just saying, for myself and karmic debt and all that, I know how the universe works. I've seen it so many times come round and round. It's just like, I'm not even touching that. You know, it's kind of like you're enticed by, they're showing the oven, and you know how when it gets all orange because it's heated, it's like you're enticed to touch it because you know it's gonna burn you, but you're enticed to touch it. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's just, they're saying messy situation. So it's just like, let's let's see what well, let's see what plays out there, and if it's meant to be in your life, it will. So they're asking you to go towards cycles that are leading you toward a higher level of understanding and awareness. This transformation is inevitable. So know that this is very exciting time for you and about to become the best you can be. So, you know, what was right behind this card of rebirth? Synchronicities. That's why I read them all together, because I'm like, this looks like this is relationship change. So there could be some verbal confirmation. There could be some sort of confirmation here that happens because they trust you to sit there and put, you know, maybe lay it down all on the line. You know what I mean? But it's just like, you know, logically, like, you know, for me, I would be like, you know, I feel the same and I would confirm my feelings. But I'm like, you know, I cannot get involved in something like this because, and I'm not giving you an ultimatum. That's for you to figure out. You know what I mean? Either way, I'm still here for you. I'm here either as a friend, or I'm here as, you know, if you want to sit there and see how this unfolds. You know what I mean? But it's a big ask. And I would never want to sit there and ask someone to give up their whole life if they're not even sure what they're doing. You know what I mean? It could be just a temporary phase where it's enticing. You know what I mean? So it maybe, you know, you guys get to know each other and it's just like, we're better off as friends. You know what I mean? But I feel like, you know, until something happens there, it's that's just tempting. I don't know. That's a hard one. You know, you're just gonna have to follow your intuition with that. I would definitely turn to the universe and ask for guidance. So we're gonna get into the channel messages. So with the channel message with doing the ancient Chinese oracle, they were talking about a union, and they were showing the Holy Trinity. So they have the cross, and they're really particular on talking about the top, how it's a triangle, and you know, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and that's when they said Holy Union. They're saying something related to Pope coming out. Bad news, reconciliation, indigenous children. Bad news, bear. Um, the Pope before, the one that's already on the throne, I believe, is the one they're talking about. So changes on the precipice. They're highlighting the sign Pisces. Major change and transformation. So I'm wondering if they're highlighting our Pisces about a major change and transformation. Um, they're saying male, something to do with the male. Incoming, notes, musician, and then they were showing a trumpet. So I'm going to look up what trumpet means. We got the two of the Viking runes that were channeled during this as well. My one rune, it moved there. Let me just move him back. So the two top ones were channel ones that came out during the channel messages. They're highlighting that Numnard, that they call a leader in Russia, winning in life for now, full on war, on the precipice. They're highlighting February. They're highlighting the shoreline of New York and them attacking there. Nothing to lose. Airship strike. Done on purpose. Seems to be weak, and they're talking about Trojan horse. I'm wondering if this is when they were showing their ships and how they were sinking, so people don't see them as a threat. So they're saying, so they're going to do something. Russia's going to do something that's going to look like a Trojan horse, like, you know, an offer of peace or whatever this is, and then that's when they're going to attack. They're highlighting something. It looks like a professional team, in my opinion. Maybe like major league or minor league. I'm not sure. I've never seen this. I did actually try to look at the logos to see if I could figure out who it was. It's orange and blue, and I thought it was the Mets, but it could be like the minor of the Mets. I'm not sure, but the colors are orange and blue. And it was just like block letters. So I tried to see if I could find something close to it. The closest thing I could see was the Mets, but I don't think it's them because just by the way that I saw the lettering, it I'm not sure 100% sure if it's them. Like I said, maybe it's the minors of them. I'm not sure. I'm not too much into sports anymore. So like the interpretation of the trumpet to me, it's always like I think of the shofar, the great shofar with that they sound during certain ceremonies. Um, but I feel like sound, our ears, clear audience. So they're saying that in this case it could be a warning. Funny enough, they were saying with yesterday's full moon card, the moon, to be precise, of the tarot cards, and they said something warning something's coming. I don't know if it's going to be this Tuesday, or if it's going to be July's, but I would pay attention to your dreams. So I'm going to see if I can find some different meanings here. Okay, so this seems to be more on point, especially because we had this huge love spread here. Um, in upcoming love. What was I talking about? You may wonder if your relationship has a future, but if you are afraid to do anything about it, it's because you think you may regret it. What was I talking about? This is what Spirit has been talking. Wow, that's what I was like. I understand the warning. You know what I mean? Because it made sense with the Monday's cards saying something coming up. You know what I mean? And we always take warning as it's a bad thing, right? Because it's a warning. Like it's not like a surprise. It's a warning, right? But wow, that's so crazy that they say that. And then we keep getting that with, especially with and they're talking about highlighting the three, the Holy Trinity. And I was talking about a love triangle earlier. Wow, this is just like all connecting. It's just, I love when it happens like this. My feeling with that relationship wise, I feel like you're afraid of the outcome of it. I think they may regret it though. You know what I mean? I feel like they may feel like, what they give up and all that. It's natural part of life, when you're when you have what you want, when you're always looking to the outside world for validation or inspiration or whatever it is, it's like you're always going to be chasing the outside world. When you start bringing it inward and only worrying about what you're doing and what makes you happy, that's when you truly find happiness. If you're always looking out to the outside world, what are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing now? You're always going to be chasing something, and it's just like, live your life in this moment. You're going to let your life pass you by. You're like, I wish I was more present, instead of sitting there and worrying about whatever X, Y, and Z is doing. So we're going to start off with Destiny as our first Viking rune, and I feel like, when they talk about the synchronistic energy, they talk about this rebirth, surrender, relationship change. You know what I mean? I feel like unless they actually, in my opinion, unless they actually say something, then I would definitely wait till that happens. I would not, especially depending what scenario you're in. In mine, I'm waiting. So this is considered the gambler's ruin, and such represents a cup of dice or fortune. So are we taking a gamble here? We're taking a gamble on love. We know that they're in a relationship. It's a huge risk. We know it goes against our karmic debt. We know it goes against our core values. So we're taking a step back because it's like if I make that step forward, it's just like it goes against everything that I am, and in my case, that I am and what I believe. You know what I mean? And I have to practice what I preach. What kind of person does that make me? Yeah, we can't help all scenarios, but sometimes things just happen. But you know what I mean? When something turns around and bites you in the butt, it's like, you know, the lessons here is to learn to take your hand, what you've been dealt, and make lemonade out of lemons. In tarot, this would be similar to the Wheel of Fortune card. It also represents hidden meanings. So again, with the Wheel of Fortune being present here and such with this ruin, it's like, with Destiny, it's just like things coming full circle. The wheel is starting to move. We were talking about this before. Um, like the World card and with Rebirth there of and that actually equals 7. So we're getting a lot of 7s here. So enlightenment, you know what I mean? Um, a rebirth in your life in some sort of way. It could also have hidden meanings of secrets change, symbolizes the womb, fate, mystery, obstacle, feminine fertility, change, fortune, mysticism, unknown. And that's exactly what it is. Sometimes the future is unknown. Yeah, we're optimistic about certain things, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's like keeping optimistic, even though, like, they're like, with my case, something came up, and I'm kind of ticked because I'm like, you've had this for weeks and weeks and weeks. You sat on this and you only made a decision now, and it's not the decision I was hoping for. Um, and now it's just like, now back to square one. And I'm just like, really? But I definitely feel like, there's a plan. Whatever was supposed to happen is supposed to happen, and that's all I can do, no matter what the outcome is. So our next one is victory. Twyat. It's representative of the warrior's warhead of God Try. It shows that you are capable of spearheading your way through your troubles and possess great leadership skills, authority, and rationality. It can indicate victory and know your true strengths with a willingness to self sacrifice. Leadership, rationality, victory, honor, bravery, courage, strength, perseverance, endurance. These are a lot of words that you will see in knockings of the Ace of Swords. For the last 2 weeks, that's all we've been getting is the Ace of Swords, the Four of Swords. What else was repetitive there? I'm trying to think what else was repetitive there. But, definitely the Ace of Swords has been very potent. And I feel like it's just like, definitely talking about there when they say that your destiny. That's a word that they use a lot in tarot. And, especially with the Ace of Swords, I feel like it's holding you accountable. If you are worthy of this, yes, then it will happen. Are you worthy of this new beginning? Are you worthy of this victory? You know what I mean? Are you on the right side of things? And sometimes it's hard to sit there and say, you know what? Truthfully, I don't deserve this. You know what I mean? Truthfully, humbly, I have a lot of things in my life, and one thing I've learned in certain situations, scenarios, it's just like, when certain things don't work out, it's because they heard the conversations that you didn't hear. They saw the plans, how they were going to fold, and what was going to be the outcome. You know what I mean? So it's just like, sometimes we question it, but it's just like, sometimes we're like, they were protecting me from something. You may not know that knowledge now of why, but you may learn it in the future. That's why I'm just like, I feel like when they were telling us to take it easy, slow and steady wins the race, and, not just to rush into things, I feel like that's what they're highlighting here. Is just like to take it easy. They're like easy peasy lemon squeezy. Definitely, because it's hard because you have that connection. And it's hard to sit there and try to set up healthy boundaries from it. But whatever the scenario is here, you have to do what's best for you and, whoever it affects, and how to move forward. You know, we can't always think with just about ourselves. So, in the actual runes that were picked, we got Lagos. Represents the element of water, and so is tied to our emotions, dreams, and intuition. So, definitely with this destiny, talking about Victor wearing the wreath in a certain situation, especially when we're talking about a rebirth in our life where this new love may come in. Um, I feel like this is where it's like following your intuition, because especially the fact that they're saying like you're scared, like especially the trumpet, it's like you're scared to see what happens because you're afraid that this is gonna fail. You know what I mean? And if it fails, it's gonna be catastrophic. It can also relate to mysteries, secrets, unknown, and the underworld. So, mystery and secrets are a word that keeps coming out. Water, intuition, imagination, healing, dreams, mysteries, insight, instincts, knowing. Excuse me. There was like I was trying to say acknowledgement there. But maybe it's like the insight to this. I feel like it'll be hurtful whatever the scenario is, and that's why it's like you got to be, you got to be prepared for that as well, just in case it's just like maybe you thought something was there, but that's just the way they speak to everyone. They're like no one special, so it's just like arrogance in that way where it's just like when they're saying like no one's special, like, you know what I mean, they kind of brush it off, and that's their way of like, I'm gonna hurt you before you can hurt me, you know what I mean? Or they're saying it out of hurt feelings. That's a really snarky, rude thing to say. Like, they're saying underling. But definitely take it slow and steady and see where it goes. If anything does materialize here, I don't think rushing into this situation is gonna suit anyone, because I definitely feel like they have regret, especially with that other party being gone. That later down the road they're gonna be like, oh, they long for that one. If I only did not do X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So I don't know if this person's going to be for keeps. It could last a couple years. It could last for the rest of your lifetime. I don't know. But, you know, the person that's involved with this triangle, you know, unwilling, unbeknownst to them that they're involved even in this situation, they kind of notice that they're a little more happier in X, Y, and Z. They just can't put their finger on it yet. So we have one joy. It's joy. Represents the clan's flag and victory. It represents triumph. So here we go with the I saw a trumpet in the channel message, and here's the word triumph. And joy, security, safety, celebration, and belonging. It could also indicate harmony, prosperity, and spiritual rewards. Pleasures, joy, feast, celebrations, comfort, beginning, belonging, community, success, festivals. So our last rune is Kenza. So torch. So being the light in the situation. Is the flame or torch. As such represents the beacon of truth and finding the true north, guided by your own shining light. It can indicate that which was previously unknown may come to light, secrets may be spilled, and you are on the right path of finding your true calling in life. It also means knowledge, creativity, inspiration, regeneration, and energy. Enlightenment. So there's one word that's been very strong, is enlightenment. Knowledge, perseverance, insight, illumination, calling, purpose, idea. So we're getting into our cards. So we're starting off with the Fool. When the Fool arrives in your reading, then you know you are on the precipice of a new beginning or experience. In this experience, you will throw back all that has been holding you back thus far. This could be fear, worry, or doubt. The Major Arcana card is saying go on in your journey. This is what life is about. Whether the new beginning is, the Fool wants you to embrace it the same way a child embraces the first day of school. So talking about the trumpet, where we're afraid to fail. So we're like, why even bother trying? Because we're afraid of failing. I was in a recent situation like this, and I was like, you know what? There's no way in heck, and I ended up making it through. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, nope, this is not my wheelhouse. I feel uncomfortable, but it's just like that's how change comes in. That's how growing comes in. When we feel uncomfortable, only then can that change and learning come in. You're sprouting a new leaf, believing yourself even more. Saying, at least I believe in myself that I tried, and you kept going, and with perseverance, you were the victor. You know what I mean? So that's all you can do, and I feel like when you humble yourself in that way, it's like win, lose, or draw, at least I tried. You know what I mean? Even at that time, I had so many things going on. And when I took that on, even more things came in. I'm just like, you guys remember that in February, I was just like, it feels like I have my arm behind my back and I'm screaming, uncle. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to tap out here, and it's just like, the universe believes in me a lot more than I do. I'll tell you that. So we have the Page of Cups. So a lot of people see this as you have your partner and they're in this chalice and you're afraid that they're going to jump out into the water and they're going to disappear. Were we just talking about that fear that, especially in this love connection that we have coming up here, with the trumpet coming up, and it's like you're afraid to even try because you're afraid of failing. You know what I mean? And that's why I said I felt like that I was saying With Monday's cards, I said I feel like that on both sides. I don't feel like it's just you. I feel that on both sides. You know what I mean? Like it's a huge risk on both sides. You know what I mean? And it's just like no risk, no reward is what Spirit just said. You know what I mean? So if I would just wait to. I don't know how they would let you know. But I've been in this scenario before, and it's just like it's kind of like gaslighting, where it's just like was it all in my head? Was it all an illusion? And then you start thinking about everything, and you're like, no, it's not. So I don't feel like it this way. I just feel like both of you are just afraid of the risk, or maybe you're both afraid of rejection. I'm not. I feel like there's risk and rejection fear here. So we were also highlighting with the Page of Cups of youth in our life. Indigo child. You know what I mean? So they're highlighting them at this point. Hopefully in a positive turn this time. You know what I mean? Not in a negative one. Thank God we're not heading in towards any Mercury retrogrades. When the Page of Cups arrives, know you're about to receive news that will fill your heart with joy and bliss. This could be an invitation to take things to a new level in love, or it could even be an engagement or proposal. The news that comes to you and that at this time fills you with love and optimism. Optimism. Wherever love has previously gone wrong is now going to go right. Oh, here we go. And when this card appears in work or money readings, know that the news that is coming in will arrive that will make you feel like you're on your soul's path to success. So, I feel like this is where that doubt comes in. We want something really bad, we're hanging on to it, or we're afraid of losing it. We're afraid that it's going to jump into this water and go away forever. You know, um, you could hear the blue jay like sounding in the back, where it's just like that. This is where this fear, worry, and doubt comes in. We're doing the full moon forecast, and then we start moving towards the new moon. You know what I mean? And I feel like especially over the weekend, I really definitely felt like this. I know Scorpio moon. You know what I mean? But I felt like this tension, or it's just like this back and forth, and I'm just like, what is this? That kind of energy. So they're highlighting you as the nurturer. They're highlighting you as the provider. It could be in many aspects of being the stay-at-home parent, being the provider, being all of the above. We are headed towards Father's Day weekend, and I was talking about that with Monday's cards, how for myself I could easily sit there and be like, the people in our lives that really do deserve that kind of honoring. And I can think of my nephew, for one, that is someone that I would sit there and honor, because and celebrate. It's all about celebrating, and letting them know how much you appreciate them. Is the fact that my children look up to him. His brother looks up to him. You know what I mean? And he's given them an amazing example of what, even though certain factors happen in life, it's just like you can keep moving forward. When the Queen of Pentacles arrives, know that you're on you're being given a message of abundance and fertility. Bearing knockings of the Viking Runes. There may not be a lot of exciting drama happening in your situation in your day right now, but you are still sitting pretty. The presence of this card could also suggest that the moves you've been making to create a stable relationship and secure environment for your loved ones have been all the right ones. You may not feel beautiful or glamorous, but you are in very good shape. I feel like, especially when you get that uncertainty, when a lot of things come up at once, and it's just like, damn, I'm not even getting ahead. No matter, it's kind of like shoveling poop. It's like no matter how you keep much you keep shoveling, the more the hole fills with poop. So they're saying effortless. You know what I mean? So I feel like, again, this is an opportunity to trust in the universe that you don't know all the information. Don't try to think so far about the future that you upset yourself. Like with myself, it's just like that whole they've been sitting on it for weeks, and now we got to start from square one. And it's just like, don't let little things like that take you down. And I'm speaking from from both sides of things, where we got to put that faith in more. And this is where my higher self checks my human self, and it's like, come on now, you don't have any reason to be spiraling right now. Take a breath. Take a beat. It'll be okay. So there's the trumpet again. So, judgment, and I feel, again, a rebirth. You are washing ourselves clean, leaving, when we think about when we, communion, a lot of kids are doing first communion. It's like when you sit there and you wash yourself away, that prior life off your body, and you start walking in the ways that you were taught, you know, in your lessons, you know, going to Bible study or whatnot, it was whatever your faith-based system does, that graduated system. And it's just like you sit there and you make that declaration that this is the way you're going to live and walk, for the rest of your days. You know what I mean? And I feel like, in a sense, when they talk about this rebirth, the ending of the old and the beginning of a new. When judgment appears, you know that you have followed the course of faith well, and your rewards are about to come in. So we back to back with the Queen of Pentacles as well as judgment, your rewards are about to come in on the precipice of things. It makes sense with yesterday's cards. They were talking about this as well, and the World card was there. So it's like you're about to say goodbye to the old. It's like you're going to take those lessons forward with you, but it's time to move forward from that. This card of rebirth, of interjection of new energy into an old situation. With judgment before you, receive not clarity, but the answers to your journey thus far related to your lessons and blessings. So I feel like with showing with the trumpet, I feel like it's like hearing those downloads come in. It's like, pay attention to your dreams. Or if they come and they're saying things to you, you know what I mean? Where they call it free hand, where you get channel messages. When this card appears, your day of judgment is upon you. It may not happen overnight. Continue the exercise of patience, but it will happen. Your day of absolution is here, and you're about to come full circle on key matters. And that's what I feel like is happening here. This is what they're talking about, a certain situation. You're both afraid to take that, leap of faith. So I feel like this is where Spirit is giving you that confirmation. You're about to see where all this is going to take you. Eight of Wands, it's something coming out of the blue, being a Cupid's arrow. The Eight of Wands arousing your day. Know that something is about to happen that will fill your heart with a smile. Messages could be important when you see this card, so don't be surprised if something wonderful, a sweet, loving message comes in out of the blue. So they're saying pay attention to the mail notes, and before we got the trumpet. As well, you may be offered an invitation to travel, or a lover may literally show up at your door unannounced. Wands symbolize fire signs, and this could be an old flame or a twin flame making themselves known. Quick messages like those you find on social media are also being represented on this card, and they are always good messages when this card is being a Cupid's arrow card at times. When this card appears, it can also mean that your heart may be hit with an arrow of love in the near future. Things happen quickly when the Eight of Wands appears. This is not a Cupid's arrow you will have to wait for. And I feel like because you feel the same. I feel like you guys are on the same page. But I feel like it's just a messy beginning. I feel like it's messy. You know what I mean? No matter what way you slice it, it's going to be messy. So we have the Death card, major change and transformation. They're saying that this transformation will lead you to the path of the sun. This has a purpose. You are a Scorpio working on major change and transformation, or you're cutting out a Scorpio out of your life. But it's like we need to move forward either way. The position of the horse. We're moving forward. Profound change and transformation and new beginnings are promised of the card. Many people often think the worst when they see this card appear. If your death will enter their day, this is simply not the case. Your relationship may go from single to engaged, for example, when you see this card. This major arcana card is about major change that's going to be a turning point in your life. And the best part, the sun is going to come out tomorrow, and it's going to be amazing. And I feel like, because, like they were saying, you're working towards something. All the moves you've been making, you're about to see full circle. Like, what was the whole reason for this? All the sacrifices, the tireless nights, whatever this is. You're about to see the reason why for it. So we have the Star card, and it's just like, even through this change, your guardian angels are with you. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be left alone to do this by yourself. They're here with you to make sure that everything turns out the way it's supposed to. The star almost heralds a period of peace and healing and embodies the peaceful and creative spirit of zodiac sign Aquarius. Higher levels of thinking. Where they're talking about intuitive abilities. A period of peace and healing. We got the Four of Swords a lot last week. It could mean you are reuniting with someone after a breakup or a separation from a loved one for the time being. And yeah, Nox, true. There's no negative symbolisms with this card, and this card is also a joyful sight to see. This card may come after a rough time and brings with it the message that there is peace on its way to you. All beauty and light will soon be restored to your world, and you may receive assistance from someone in the process. Some readers consider this card to symbolize your guardian angel, here to bring you peace and healing after heartache. This is a card that, when it feels too good to feel this good, believe it, because you deserve the joy that whatever you have gone through in the past. You can pin your dreams on the star because she is ready to make them come true. And it's like your manifestations come in full circle, all the blood, sweat, and tears, all the crying, the fear, the sacrifice, the tireless nights. It's all about to make sense. Sometimes we have to get to a certain point to actually be like, thankful. Like, I do some reminiscing, and it's just like, dang, like, where I was, 5.5 years ago to now is just, in crazy and insane. I don't like to go back too much to that time, because there's a lot of people that made it a lot worse for no reason. You know what I mean? There's no justification for what they did, but it's just like, can't dwell on that. Don't have time for that. I got bigger and better things to worry about. Love, partnership, you know, change in relationship. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 of Wands, talking about a Cupid's arrow coming in. Can't make this up, man. This card indicates a time when romantic relationship is about to enter your life. Perhaps you are single and are about to meet a special someone, or maybe your current relationship is about to progress to a deeper level of understanding and commitment. Either way, love is just around the corner, provided you believe. So they're asking you to work towards romantic love relationships. So love and appreciate yourself as you are today. Embrace your imperfections and be assured that you are worthy of love. Love one will appear without a doubt that you are lovable and deserving. I feel like that's the biggest thing, is to learn to love ourselves and put ourselves first and learn the hard lessons, especially when you've been in a relationship and you come out of it and it's just like, what things, do you not do? Obviously, it's not to punish the next person, but it's just like, instead of being 99 on my side and 1 from you, it's like, no, it's 50-50. If you can't give me that, then I'm sorry. This ain't no bueno. So intuition, this is the orange chakra. I feel like this is our sacral, like our sociability, our sexuality. Intuition, I feel like this could be with this relationship. 2 plus 2 is 4. So, this could affect the household in that way. It encourages you to trust your inner guidance and embrace the intuitive wisdom that resides within your soul. By drawing this card, you're being urged to honor your sensitivity at all times, and to prioritize your premonitions and hunches above practicality and logic. This isn't a time to be influenced by others. Others may betray your inner guidance. And I feel like because out of jealousy, or they'll just betray it and tell your secrets. So I would just keep it to myself. Instead, you must trust your intuition, for it will never let you down. So cycles of your life that are encouraging you to trust your inner guidance. When you're indecisive and unsure, always go within. For your intuition knows the path that serves your greater good. When you trust yourself and your consciousness, to your connection to the divine, you will synchronously be led to where you need to be. We were talking about that, trusting, synchronicities, I don't feel like it's a coincidence that the two of you cross paths. I'll think it's a coincidence that the two of you feel what you feel. Well, yes, pride is your next card. I don't feel like it's pride so much in this case. I feel like it's rejection. That's what Spirit is saying. I don't feel like so much rejection. I feel like a lot of us have gone through, you know, trials and tribulations through our life, especially as we get older. And when we get to certain ages, it's like we try to not repeat negative cycles anymore or repeat things that have caused us pain and suffering. You know, falling in love or starting something brand new in that regard is always scary. It doesn't matter what age you are. But if we don't take those risks, there's no rewards. But I feel like in certain circumstances, there's special situations, special circumstances that are around us. So just do what as long as you're doing it with love, and your not purpose is not to hurt anyone. I think you're in a good boat. Indicates the need to swallow your pride to improve your current situation and your quality of life by admitting when you're wrong and choosing to see others' points of view. Whether this person is right or wrong, you raise your vibration, which brings you closer to your dreams. The bottom line, if you want to create a happy, harmonious life, you must let go of the need to be right or in control. Asking you to give into cycles that are encouraging you to raise above your ego, rather than to go it alone because you're too stubborn to back down. You must cooperate with others. When you swallow your pride, you can make your dreams come true. I definitely feel like it's like not to repeat cycles again. Sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time people show us who they are. You've been through that song and dance and you don't want to repeat cycles, and it's just safeguarding yourself. So maybe this pride is going in two different ways, financially rather than going towards the love part of things, you know? So financial discipline. So we want to achieve things in life, or we want certain things out of life, and it's just like we're trying. Remember I said it's like we're shoveling poop, and it's like, sometimes it's our spending habits. If you want to, save up money to buy a certain thing or do a certain like a vacation or whatever this is. And sometimes that's what it is. It's that financial discipline to do the right thing, to not spend on X, Y, and Z, to sit there and actually, be disciplined, be on a budget, and not go over it. Sometimes it's hard, when there's a lot of celebrations and stuff going on. But it's like, buying unnecessary things that you don't need. You know what I mean? So, yeah, sometimes that stuff brings us happiness. Sometimes it's more than others, trinkets and bibs and bobs. But I feel like this is where universe is just like, you want to accomplish certain things, well, then you need to calm down with, the trinket buying. So, saying discipline, financial plus discipline, if you wish to build a strong foundation for the future. You're constantly surrounded by opportunities to attract abundance. However, you must follow it up with action if you wish to see results. Setting the intention to be financially secure, then asking or taking appropriate steps as putting a little money away aside each week. So, encouraging you to be financially disciplined and strong, since like attracts like in this magnetic vibrational world. You attract what you are. You need to have a healthy relationship with money and to bring it into your life. Abundance is a state of mind, so eliminate any limited beliefs that are blocking your financial flow. With a positive attitude and discipline, you can create financial security and abundance. And I feel like a lot of times we all stand in our own way. It doesn't matter what it is. It's like our negative thought process or anything like that. But it's just like, I feel like instilling this at a young age, You don't have to spend every little red cent that's in your pocket. You can sit there and put it away for a rainy day. So I know this is the full moon forecast. So I don't know if this is the full moon for this date, because we're starting with the deviant moon, and they're saying, with the Six of Swords, it's like we're moving, we're surrounding ourselves with swords. We're not letting anything harm us anymore. We're moving forward, though. I love the fact that he's in the air. Traditionally, they're in the water, but in this case, he's floating It's kind of like taking ourselves, using our higher selves because we're in the air, and being, rational about this. And it's like surrounding ourselves with swords, not allowing certain situations to harm us anymore. You know what I mean? It's actually an extension of his head. That is so cool. You know, he's got the sun and the moon on either side of this balloon, but it's pretty cool though. That you've grown and expanded, that we would no longer allow certain situations to hurt us no more. That's growth. Unfortunately, we go through crazy life experiences, and you know, and that's exactly what it's for. It's for growth, you know. But I definitely feel like, emotional situation, safeguarding is what they're saying. Safeguarding ourselves, you know. But I don't know what we're safeguarding ourselves from. I definitely feel like it's an emotional situation because he's going over a body of water, and he's using it. It's kind of like we're bypassing the situation. Nope, pretending like you don't see it. Nope, don't want to hear it. Don't want to see it. Leave me alone. I'm going to keep moving forward. So we're making a decision here. There's the waxing crescent moon, and there's a choice here. The duality, the two of pentacles. We have to make a choice here. I feel like that it's kind of like this is what they're talking about too, with the, a choice. Either are we going to go against our values? Are we going to go against our compass? Are we going to go against everything that we've been taught to this far? Are we going to go with it? You know what I mean? Are we going to sit there and take that risk? I definitely feel like when they're talking about pride and financial discipline, maybe this is you asking for help or coming to the realization you can't do it on your own. You know what I mean? But I feel like, if you see what this has brought you before, you know what I mean? It's not only with yourself, with others, it's the same result, the definition of insanity. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just, that's just something you're going to have to learn to live without. The person on the Two of Pentacles is balancing two pentacles in their hand, with a line of karma tying them together in an infinity symbol. The number two of the tarot often represents parties and things that are dual in nature. There is a balancing act happening between two parties or two things in your life at this time. You may spend the day going back and forth in various matters, but the line between the two pentacles is an infinity symbol, suggesting the things that you are now balancing today are directly connected to your karma. And I was saying that on Monday's cards, karmic debt. Honest and fair dealings are advised while managing this juggling act if you want things to work out in your favor. And I definitely feel like, that's what I was saying, in my opinion, you know, what I would do in this situation is just let it be and let things fall the way that they should and not get involved in this situation. You know what I mean? Sit there, and if they decide that they're no longer, if this person feels that they're not, happy in this relationship and they want it to come to an end, that's fine. But, only then, can maybe you say something or maybe hit something. I don't know. But I wouldn't make any intentions known until that part. That's their decision to make, you know? And I feel like that's where they're talking about with this, with the trumpet. It's like you're afraid of of failing. So we're highlighting the Emperor. We're mentioning him earlier. So this is the crescent, the waning crescent moon. So, this is actually happening next weekend when we're honoring, well, the weekend coming up, honoring the father figures in our life. Number one for me is God, obviously. But I feel like order and structure. He's looking behind him, so maybe it's kind of like his attention isn't what his focus should be on. He's turning his head. He's turning towards this figure with holding the Two of Pentacles. Maybe you're the one that has to make a choice between the two, and now, you know what I mean? The fact that they're turning their head towards that one, it's just like you've captured their attention. Like, look how she's dancing and stuff, interpretive dance. So it's just like you're maybe your wilds have caught their attention. You know, your beauty. They're saying admiration. The Emperor is symbolized by the number 4 and representing order and structure in your life. He also represents zodiac sign Aries and could represent an Aries in your life when you see this card in a reading. This card suggests that you are about to realize your goals and are well in the process of starting something wonderful in that regard today. With its connection to Aries, it also signifies a former leadership could enter the situation. This may mean you are required to take the lead and control on an issue. A connection to authority may be important in your day to day. You may also simply need the advice of your dad or father figure. You may have a contractor, even a real estate agent, visit the house today to start a big project or give you a quote. With oh my gosh, I hope there's no big project starting this. Maybe this is a foretelling. Last time we had this, we had the window renovation. New opportunities have their way to find themselves to today in your path to seize the day and build something wonderful in that regard. So it could be knocking of like with us, we kept getting the Emperor, and sure enough, they came in the worst timing to do a renovation. I'm just like, are you kidding me? So if this is this, so let's try to go with the cycles. If this is actually Tuesday's full moon, we're putting. I don't feel that energy, but maybe you may. Like, just because it doesn't resonate with myself, maybe this could be yourself. Maybe for me, this will be July, But maybe you're in a situation where you're putting swords around yourself. I feel like when it comes to pride and financial discipline, putting the swords around yourself, it's like, we've already went down that road, and it didn't work. It's not a source of pride. It's just a sense of following our intuition, And I feel like that's where we put swords around ourselves, and it's like, well, rethinking this situation. There's another way to do this. But, for myself, it's like, when it's going to happen, it'll happen. So if it's not, this is July full moon. And then August here. And this could be September as a brand new beginning. I'm just trying to go by the cycles of the moon that I see in the cards. So we got the Fool again. So brand new beginning is starting here. I feel like this could be financially and romantically. It could be both. It could be one for you. It could be both for you. Either or. So our last card is the Page of Cups again. But look what this one is kind of like taming, the fish. And it's giving you, it looks like a pearl. So this could also be September, waning crescent moon. But I feel like you're taming it so you guys, can be together. Maybe it's calming the waters. But it's like coochie coochie coo, like, kind of taming it under its chin there. Like you do with a kid, coochie 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 coo. I just like the satisfaction on this one's face. Like, by this one showing them, like, they're kind of calm, or they've tamed them in some sort of way. Gain their trust, that they offer you something, brings you some satisfaction and peace. But when I get the Page of Cups, I get that youthful energy, right? I get that intellectual energy. I get that indigo children energy, So be mindful of the children in your surroundings. So I hope you guys enjoyed this forecast and projections for our full moon in Sagittarius for Tuesday, June the 14th. I definitely feel like, there's either this is going to be a really strong partnership in a sense of a work endeavor or a love connection, or it's just going to be like you guys are just like, it's too much of a risk, because we're getting warning sign, like, we got that with the full moon on Monday, and now they're like, with the trumpet, they're saying it's a warning sign. Um, I don't feel like negative symbolisms with this. I don't feel any negativity coming in here. But I definitely feel like it made more sense when I went to a different definition with the trumpet, and they're talking about it's like you two are both like afraid of failing, and that made more sense to me. You know what I mean? More than like warning sign makes resonates because, like I said, but to me, like when I think about the trumpet or a shofar, it's like they're grabbing your attention. I don't feel like it's a warning symbol. Like I know we sound the horn in war and stuff like that. If you think about different cultures, but when we sound the shofar, we do it in a celebration sense. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like the trumpet being sounded, especially with the rebirth card. I feel like they're announcing this rebirth. They're announcing like how we do a birth announcement or an engagement. We're celebrating. So that's where I feel like it more resonates than a warning shot because we don't see these cards that are like doom and gloom. It was very positive on the most part of it. You know what I mean? Except with this like decision and it's like kind of weighing out the odds. And I feel like it's not a sound yes or no. I feel like it's like if you want to risk karmic debt, then it's like yeah, move ahead and see where it takes you. But I definitely feel like you'll have a series of bad events that happen, because of this poor choice. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where I feel like they were joking and showing Jeff Lewis on the Wendy Williams show, and it's just like he was single for 24 hours, but he didn't cheat. He was being cheeky, but he was right. It's like yeah, I was single for 24 hours, and I didn't, because he technically didn't cheat. Even though it was 24 hours, it's he still didn't cheat, and he's right, he didn't. So I feel he's just being cheeky, but you know what I mean? I feel like in that sense, that's what we're touching on here. You know what I mean? Like following what you feel is best. You know what I mean? But the fact that they're talking about decision to be made here with duality, you know, I feel like with that Six of Swords, I feel that's where I feel like with pride and financial and the Six of Swords, I feel like you've gone through this cycle before. And I don't feel like it's pride and ego standing in your way. I feel so much more of financial discipline is like you could get there on your own if you put that discipline in place. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're moving forward because you've learned. Because he's floating in the air this time rather than, paddling over the water. You know what I mean? So I feel like he's using his higher levels of thinking. This is actually his brain, his head that has grown here. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm going to sit there and learn from this situation. I'm not going to repeat the definition of sanity. That's where I feel like, pride in some way may have something to do with, this love relationship. But in my opinion, I feel like it's more financial. And it's like, instead of sitting there and, dealing with this party again, whoever could help you make this happen faster, it's like, I'd rather take the long way around, do it myself. And then I know for a fact that it's like, I did it the right way. It may take me longer to get there and not the timeline that I was hoping. But, the universe works in mysterious ways. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted, I was just like, how am I going to do X, Y, and Z? And then this miracle came in. And I really didn't think it was going to work out, and it did. You know what I mean? So it's just like, opportunities are always present there. It's up to us if we take them. I definitely feel like this is a connection. I don't know if it's going to flourish right now into love or if it will flourish down the line, but I definitely feel like that person needs to make a decision if they want to be in that relationship. If they're thinking about you as much as you're thinking about them, then it's just like, well, are you only doing that because it's a temptation and it's an opportunity? Or is it just something's going on a deeper level there where it's just like they've thought about, ending it before? You know what I mean? But they have to take that step. And only when that step is taken will you guys be able to move forward together in a harmonious way where there's no karmic debt to anyone, there's no harming anyone, and it could be a flawless, painless move forward. So I hope you guys enjoyed this forecast and projections. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next Daily Tarot Cards. Bye.